be confident and clear. If you are confused mentally, then your communication won't get better and better. It's great, and feel my excitement. Yes, feel my excitement. How's San Francisco?
It's good. It's
Oh,
starting to pick up. It's a little
that's
busy,
good
but
enough.
that's
And
normal.
business is blessing, isn't it? Okay,
Yeah.
can you? Okay, our connection is so good. That's good enough. And how's weather outside and inside?
So how is it outside?
Yes, looking great.
So I would say there's a lot of energy.
Oh,
People are friendly and social, and the whole mask thing
hmm.
is just like
Wow,
a
that's good enough.
distraction. Like people would take off.
Oh, good. I was expecting that you would be in some office or in some room, but you are outside, I think, I guess. Isn't it?
Yeah. So I was in the office. I work at the tower, one of the
Hmm.
biggest buildings here,
Wow.
and I was getting ready to go, and I wasn't sure what time the meeting was going to be, so
Hmm.
I didn't want to miss an opportunity to go to the gym. So I'm really walking to the
I
gym.
expect great session with you, and I made three sections today, and there was the first one, let me know about yourself much more, and the second is the general discussion about the communication skills and the practices that you can do, and the third one, some recommendations like some books and websites to have personality tests like that, so that you could know yourself much more and improve your communication skills. So these three sections will be quite productive for you in your future life. First of all, please let me know about yourself, like your name and place of working, like that, in just a few seconds.
Okay. I am Caesar Adamis. I am from the Caribbean. My first language is Spanish, and I learned English
Spanish.
in America. Yeah, I came over to America to learn English.
To learn
And
English.
yeah, I ended up staying. I never went back to the Dominican Republic in the Caribbean, where I'm from.
Okay.
Yeah, I just stayed over here, became a citizen. I lived in Florida for a little bit. And then when I lived in Florida,
Okay.
I moved to New York. And then I went to school there. And then I decided to go into the Army because New York was boring and so was Florida. So I wanted to see the world. So I joined the military for a little bit, 12 years. And then I wanted to start learning computers because I always liked computers as a kid. And
Okay.
I got a job with this company called Salesforce, and then I've been working for them for about 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah, they do a lot of software, internet software. But I've been with them for 8 years. It's been long.
It's been long.
Yeah, and I worked in different departments as well too.
Okay, but good time doesn't look long, isn't it? Good times are always short. They look short if they are not short. Okay. Then why do you want confidence? Means why do you improve? You want communication skills to be improved because you have been speaking English for a long, long time. So there is some core purpose to boost your communication skills. There's something specific like what you want, because that would guide us to the right destination. So have you some plan like I would make myself a leader or like that? So what's the plan? What's the core purpose of improving your confidence in communication skills?
Yeah, so my goal, I noticed that my communication isn't the best when I communicate with people. And I tried to communicate with a message, but I see that sometimes they just don't get the message that I'm trying to communicate to them. So what I want to do is, because I'm being evaluated to be a lead engineer, and part of it is communicating what I want. I have this thing where professionally, I don't know the best way to communicate to people, and I'm trying to learn because it's somewhat new to me, the position that I'm in.
So you know that clarity, confidence, authority are the right antonyms for confusion. isn't it? Means if you are confused, your communication isn't that good. So communication itself is nothing, but it comes from your mind. If you are clear, if you are confident, then your communication is good enough, because the communication is just like a behavior. If your behavior shows some confidence, your communication will be confident and clear. If you are confused mentally, then your communication won't get better and better.
Yes, I feel like
you feel like
it's just odd. Odd to me to communicate to people, and it communicates confusion and not clarity and unsure. Like I need help having a strong, solid, confident voice and being authoritative in business.
But there is a good news that confusion is not that bad. Confusion shows your intelligence, a sign of intelligence to many researchers and psychologists, because has some terrorist some kind of confusion or not? No, a terrorist doesn't have any kind of confusion, because he is targeted, he is clear minded, because he is insane. He doesn't have any kind of sanity. So, clear minded people and confident they are, but they are not confused on some arguments whether I should do this or not. They don't have any kind of critical thinking. So, confusion means that you have critical thinking behind your mind, and there's subconscious level that you have some kind of confusion that I should do this or that. There's so many choices and you have to choose one or two. So there are so many sentences in English or syntaxes in English that you want to choose from this or that one. So it simply means that you have so many options to choose from, a plethora of sentences. So it isn't bad at all. So it's a sign of intelligence, means confusion. But there is no confusion in your talk up till now. That you are pretty clear about everything, that I'm going to gym, I'm coming from the office, and on the path I will join the session, like that. So there is no attempt of that confusion that would lead to the confusion in language and communication. You are pretty clear about your short goals, about your short-term goals, targets. You feel some confusion or not? In daily life means?
Yeah, in daily life, I am scared to say the wrong thing a lot of the time. So I try to think as I'm speaking, and as a result, it comes out misleading. Or people are confused. Yeah. It's just because I think a lot.
You are an overthinker, and you know that a common person thinks almost 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. So can we make it to 1,000, 2,000? Because it's a famous thing about Einstein, that he could focus on one thing for 3 days, only on one thing for 3 days. So that's the focus. So the exercise, there should be an exercise to focus on the things that we want to focus on, not on the thing, because we people are balloon minded, monkey minded. They're jumping from one tree to another tree to another tree. So there's no stay at all, because mind isn't in our control. If it is on our control, that would be great. Your hand is in your control, your movements are in control. So mind should be an organ like your hand, like anything. We can handle it according to our own wish and will. That would be great. If there are some organs like hand and legs, if they move without our consent, so that's not good. Similar is the case with the mind. That should not be go here and there. We shouldn't be whimsical, capricious, means oscillating here and there. So that will be a great exercise. So if we dig into the problem, so the first thing, that you should be clear-minded, focused, and there shouldn't be a mess up of thoughts in your mind. So the counting, what goes in your mind? There are hundreds of thoughts at a time, so we get confused. Why is it so? Not hundred of thoughts, but if you focus, there is one or two or three tensions that are imminent right now, and that's convulsive thoughts. That's the repetitive thoughts, repetitive patterns of the same thing that is haunting us, and that on alternative days that goes different and different. So if we control that one thought, repetitive thoughts, convulsive thoughts, then we can be clear-minded, I think, to the maximum. And that's the first thing, because communication is coming from your mind. If that is clear, all the things that are coming from there are clear. So what do you think that how can we practice communication to be more effective? and the first thing that we have got, we should be meditative, we should be clear-minded, transparent. Our thoughts must be very clear, and then the communication would be very clear. Like other behaviors, our walk, talk, and other things show that we are clear-minded, we are targeted. And so similar is the condition with the communication. So communication isn't that different from all the behaviors that we demonstrate, that we show. So the first thing is to clear your mind. That's pretty clear. But what should be the second step? That is practice, practice, and practice. Now, there should be a deliberate effort to practice communication. We never practice communication. We practice language learning. We learn this is this, and that is like English, American English. But we never practiced communication, how to start, what is consideration, what are the levels of communication, informal or formal, how should deal with the customer, like that. So does this need practice in your opinion, or not at all? It is by God, or it is by default in us?
So I don't think it's defaulted by us to try to learn all the communication skills.
Okay,
I think we have to
that's good.
Constantly want to learn and improve. That's the only way we'll get better.
Okay,
and that's what I'm trying to do with
okay, nice to know. So it simply means that you have some aspiration to learn communication. So what do you think that effective communication is? That you are understood well by others, that's all? Or there are some extra levels?
I think there's some extra level. I think,
yes.
Yeah, I think being understood by others is important, and that should be one of your goals, but also to confirm and to make sure your message is received by the individual.
Okay, that's good enough. And do you think that external environment affect your communication? Means if you are easy, your biological features, it means that you are comfortable physically, then your communication is good. And you are, if you aren't in a conducive environment and you are feeling bad temperature like that, so your communication gets hurt or not at all?
So yes, I believe environment has an effect. Like certain communication styles will work in one environment, but in another environment it would not, if they don't understand your type of communication. And
okay,
yeah, I think you have to learn what is the best communication for the environment you're in.
Okay, so context becomes important. It simply means that context becomes important as well. Context is very important, that where you are speaking and to whom you are speaking, that is important as well. Okay, that is important. That's good. So don't you think that other people have their own background, have their own psychology? So how should we adjust ourselves according to everyone's psychology, and how can we learn in a minute that what is he thinking, and we should adjust ourselves according to that? Isn't it that difficult, or you feel it at ease that I'm so mercurial in communication that I can adjust everywhere and to anyone?
Yes, we have to adjust. I don't know the best way to adjust to people's communication.
Okay, that's pretty easy. If you say something that I don't know, it simply means that the first step to knowing, to learning. So the first thing that Tony Robbins suggests about that is that you should change your physical posture, that you should stretch backward and you straighten your back and just give a smile. That's the universal psychology of humankind. There are some universal things that you can match with your customers, your clients, the others, I mean. So you should know, and you know by default, those universal features that everyone loves to have. What do you love from others to have? So the same, others would also wish the same thing from your side, isn't this? You like some smiling face, some soft conversation with others, or have a good eye contact or like that. Don't you wish that those things from others? So can't you give these things to others? It's pretty easy.
Yes, I think that's good. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So that's the first thing to know, that what I want from others, I should give the same things to others. And that's the simple formula. Having this smiling face, soft talk, and to deliver the things pretty quickly. And it happens automatically when you are clear-minded. So there was the general discussion about yourself, and I really enjoyed that. Hope the best for you. And there are some steps, as I have said, that practice, practice, and practice. So that's the first thing, because knowledge can be taught, but skill is to be practiced. Knowledge can be taught, but skill is to be practiced. And communication is a skill, as you know, communication skills. So the first thing, command over your topic. That's the first thing, for the clarity of mind and communication, that you have command over your topic. What you are going to say, you have command on that. If you are making something clear to others, you should be clear about that. Einstein once said that if you cannot make a 6-year-old student the things pretty clear, it simply means that you are not clear by yourself. So you should be clear. And the first thing for clarity is command over the topic. Okay, and the second thing that people like in research is that is eye movement or eye contact. What do you think about eye movement, eye contact, neck movement? That should be flexible. Neck movement should be flexible when you are communicating to other person. Your neck should be moving like sideways, and you are looking sometimes into the eyes of the client, of your customer. There are 300 books on just on eye contact, how to make eye contact with other people. So that's important in communication skills. And that is also important, that you are not talking about yourself all the time. That is narcissism. So that's just like a stuff, research stuff like that, but it's not personalized about you. So don't you think that eye contact, neck movement, like feedback, like nodding, shaking, like that's important? Don't you think they are important in communication, like body language? Is that important? Like it makes 90% of your communication?
Yes, it gives the person understanding that you're there and you take up space. And then I think back in the day, we didn't have words, so we communicate with our body.
Oh, with our body. Okay, that's good enough. And the constable that is standing on the road, traffic, that's pretty important. I think he isn't speaking any word, but body language is so important. So how can we improve our body language in communication skills? Are there some tips or not? Or there some weekend challenges that this weekend, up to this weekend, I would improve my eye contact. Up to this weekend, I would improve my neck movement. Up to this weekend, I would improve my breathing patterns, because vocal apparatus is quite important. Your linguistic features that come from lungs to lips, and the apparatus that is inside us, that is very important. Do you know about vocal trainings as well or not? Have you taken some vocal trainings or not?
I want to, but I don't know. There's too many resources on the internet, and I easily get overwhelmed. Yeah, but I do want to.
Oh, that's good enough. That's good enough. Okay, so means you never had vocal trainings like lungs and your glottis, your tongue, your mouth cavity, lips, like that before presentations or before means formal communications. You never had that.
No.
Okay. Have you presented some presentations or delivered some presentations to any group of people, or there's some kind of stuff in your office or not?
Yeah, there's some kind of stuff. I gave presentations before. They were not the best, but I think I got my message across, and it's just because I just didn't practice.
Okay. So I think rapport building. Do you know about rapport building or not? Have you listened this term, rapport building? No? Rapport building in communication?
Yeah, I think that's important. Yeah, I think
that's important. Okay.
Yeah, one of my biggest problems as well is I get nervous because I don't have a rapport built, so I'm not sure the kind of message that somebody new will take. And sometimes I deal with executives and I come off a little too passionate or too emotional to them, and it triggers a red flag. And it's just because I'm passionate about the topic. It's nothing to do with trying to make them feel
okay. Yes.
Extreme.
Okay, I got the point. So emotions are not that bad if they are led quite well. So yes, rapport building is important, and that's the first step of communication. Whenever you are formally communicating, that you have some connection with your customer or client, and that is your eyes that make the contact, and your neck movement, your body language that would feel others comfortable. So do you know what's the first technique of rapport building? That is matching and mirroring, and that's very powerful technique. If you practice throughout this weekend, this matching and mirroring, that will be good enough. And what is matching and mirroring? That it doesn't mean that you are copying the customers or clients. Rather, try to make like them. Means verbally, if they are speaking quite, I think, quite fast, quite speedily, then you can speak up like that quite speedily. And if they are slow, so you should pace down in your communication. And if their eye movement is good, eye contact is good, your eye contact must be good with them. So that is matching and mirroring. Great leaders do that. Even whenever they go in some state, they dress up like that. They means they mix up the words like that. So that is matching and mirroring. So you can have a lot of stuff on internet like matching and mirroring. So that's the first step of uh, um, rapport building. Can you practice up to 7 days this matching and mirroring? That it's not a copying that the other person is sitting there and you are sitting just like that, but 70% like that. You cannot copy the other person's style in every aspect, but you can practice 70% of what he is speaking, what's the way of speaking, what's the way of sitting. So that will be great enough. And you would be surprised to know that the other person won't come to know that you are copying him. That is researched. So be confident about that. Now, even if you have noticed some meetings, even the presidents, you would have, when you would paste the topic or you would write down the topic matching and mirroring and go to images, you would see the presidents who are practicing this technique with each other to prolong the communication process, to know about each other quite well. So that's magical. You would be amazed to know about this more. In this short session, I can't make you practice that, but that you would be surprised to know about matching and mirroring. So what's your time of gym?
Oh, the time at the gym. Actually, I can go anytime. Like,
oh, that's good enough. That's good enough.
Yeah, I'm not in a rush. Did I give that impression? Yeah, I'm okay.
I'm okay. Okay, that's good. Oh, yes. So, what did you learn up till now? One thing.
What did I learn? One thing.
Only one thing.
Only one thing. Be clear with your communication. Not have a lot of things on your mind when you speak.
That's good enough.
Control the topic.
Control the topic. That's good enough. Okay, that's the first step. And the last step, that's rapport building. Although that's the beginning of the communication skill, but we discussed it in the last, because the last things remain in the mind quite long. So hopefully you would practice one thing throughout, I think, 7 days. Through 7 days, can you practice one thing through 7 days? If you means develop your eye contact for 1 week, that would be good enough, and that will naturally be the part of your communication whenever you are talking to others. So there would be eye contact automatically. You need not to practice it after 7 days, because it would be a part of your character, that whenever you are communicating, you are looking into the eyes of those people, but not gazing at all. Because 2 seconds are maximum that you can look into the eyes of others. You need not to look into the very eyes, but rather you can look at the forehead, you can look at the nose. That's quite good, because that's the area that you can look to. So that would be good enough, because looking into the eyes, I think, seem more, I think, rude, isn't it that? If you're looking into the eyes, that seems quite rude. So we can look at the area anywhere in the face. So you can practice that for 7 days, and that would naturally would be the part of your communication skills. So what do you want? Formal communication to be improved, informal, or whatever?
Right now I want formal. I think I can do informal communication and practice, but I'm looking to really improve formal because it's kind of, I don't know, it's hard to, in my opinion, by yourself, it's hard to work on formal, and it comes up randomly, and then you want to look prepared, but you can't, like you don't know the best ways. Informal, I think you can practice with friends, family, strangers.
I know, how can you practice? Because you are doing that for years and years, then how can you practice more and more? Is there some kind of plan to improve, or what do you think about informal communication? I know my friends who are already prepared for jokes. They keep in mind that the situation is going to be like that today, and we should keep in mind some anecdotes, some stories like that to get into the on the top of the friend list today. So they prepare even informal communication as well. They prepare themselves for that, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, that's the key. Means if there's a gathering like party, so you should have some things like that. Even first-hand preparation, you can take that. They never go without preparation among friends, even in relatives. They know the context already that we are going there or there, and then they manage that. I would do this and that, and I would say this and that. They already plan. So have you planned such kind of communication skills already before meetings, before friends meeting, relatives meeting, or not at all, or just jump into the meeting?
Yeah, I'm always with some engineers I work with, and I speak to random strangers here in San Francisco all the time.
Strangers, wow, that would be a great experience.
I like it.
Oh, that's good enough. It means you also practice impromptu. That is impromptu, without any kind of preparation, that you are talking and talking. That's good enough. Oh, nice to know about that.
I feel good. I actually, I was upset. Like, I moved to another place and people were not as social. And every time I tried to be social, they just gave me like a negative response. But that's why I came here to the city. So when I moved to the city, I started to see how friendly and social people were. So I'm in line, I talk to people, I have friends, informally, I joke, mess around. I like to have a good time with them because life is boring.
Life isn't adventurous for you, and you like adventures. That's good enough. So why is it boring? Why is it boring? It gives you a lot of things. You are breathing well, you are smiling, you have great eyes, and you can listen to me, and there's roundabout, and you are living in San Francisco. Many people dream to be there. So why is it boring like that?
Oh, it's just boring sometimes because you're in your head too much. And then you feel like you can't express or give to the world who you are. So then you start to feel a little down.
Oh, that's good. Nice to know that you know yourself a lot. That's good news. Oh, many people don't know themselves, but you know that there are so many things in your mind simultaneously, and you want something new. Then there's a technology world, there's IT, computers, and you can connect yourself virtually with the people all over the world. Don't you enjoy that?
Yes, and I feel that it's also, I don't enjoy seeing other people like on their phones too much. Like, I feel like there should be a time for it. Like there's some people when we go outside and are at parties, they're on their phones posting everything instead of actually enjoying the party. But I like technology where you can connect and you can call your family and friends that you haven't seen in a long time, connect and build rapport again. It's like you never left. But there's just that little thing where people overdo it a little too much, and that becomes like their form of enjoyment, which could be toxic. And I like how you said narcissists, because some people are just on their phones and social media, and they're about themselves only. How many likes can they get? What are people saying in the comment sections? Why did this picture not get as many likes as the other? Like, at the end of the day, that doesn't really matter.
It simply means that the Z generation we are living in. I'm not connected with that Z generation and like you. So, but can't we adjust in them? Can't we change ourselves? Can we adjust in? Can't we change our biological clock a bit to make the communication skills well, to connect the world quite well? Because they have different minds, they have different kind of neuronic patterns, neural patterns. Can't we follow them, or we should change? If we cannot change, we should change ourselves. And that's the only way to be happy. So don't you think that we are virtually connected and we can feel each other's emotions quite afar?
Yes, and I think we should have the right intentions to
Right
communicate.
intentions.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. That's good. So,
like our communication shouldn't be hostile or hateful. It should be loving, welcoming, accepting.
That's the universal law. Okay, that's good to listen from you. So, Six Weapons of Influence by Robert Cialdini. That's Italian. Robert Cialdini. That would be the right book for you to study. Six Weapons of Influence. Six weapons of influence. Okay, I would send in word form some websites and this, so that would be good for a weekend challenge. You can practice these things for 6 days, for 7 days, whenever you feel easy, and have some vocal training, because your vocal apparatus is already ideal. I really feel good when I listen to you, because you're pretty clear in your vocal apparatus and in your mind as well. You think that there are 60, 70,000 a day thoughts, but you are not such kind of stuff. You are pretty clear about your things, and you can be more clear. You think that your communication should be good, so be ready, be always prepared for the company you are going to join, and you cannot even try to make reports deliberately. They are automatic, so you should not go means making deliberate efforts to build reports. That's not important enough. So the first thing to make people happy isn't your job. Keep this in mind, and you shouldn't be selfish enough that the people would make me happy as well. So feel at ease by yourself. You are a complete whole. A human being doesn't need anybody to make him happy. So leave these things, because attachments are always bad. These create emotions, and they are the basic source or fundamental source of our suffering. So we shouldn't go for the attachments. You should be good at communication, you should be good to them, but universally, not for specific persons. Whenever they would hurt, you would get hurt. So your remote control would be in their hands. You would handle you by your emotions. So don't give your remote control to others at all. Be the master of your emotions, passion, and everything you have, you are gifted with. So hold control of your life, hold control of your communication. You shouldn't think a lot about others, but universally you should be good at communication. You should know the basic rules of communication, like you should be prepared. The first thing for communication, whenever you are joining to some party, you should be prepared for the context that you are going in. If you are prepared, that's half done. If you practice these things, you would do great in your communication automatically, not deliberately. And that's our target, to get natural in our communication, informally and formally. So these are some of the tips that you would keep in mind, hopefully. And the things that I have attached, you should go to the sites and take some personality tests, and feel free to send me those tests. I would analyze them. I would send you the results, and that would be a very personalized communication skills project that I would launch for you. You can read that out. Just if you are free, then you would join again, or just go for the process. That would be quite good for you. Hopefully, anything that you would ask more, anything, feel free to ask questions.
Yeah, I think I'm set right now. I don't have.
Okay. Nice to see you. Thank you so much, Izar. Have a good day. Have a good gym. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye bye.